on the board first. If you're just joining us, I'm Jeremy Jones with Bull Action TV, coming to you live from Arena Billiards here. It's Billy Thorpe versus Efren Reyes. It's a race to 10 each day, best 3 out of 5 sets. Okay, pretty effective there at first glance. Touchy, for sure. Nothing on the bottom rail to really slow some banks down. Not really anywhere to double them up. Pretty touchy here. Not really a nice kick on the 3 any kind of way, unless you knew you could hit it full and go up with it to where he doesn't have a bank on the 8. The 12's got him covered up, so very difficult here. He's going to draw him on top of the stack. Now he's got to worry a little bit about, I would do it mildly, I think. Yeah, that's what I would have worried about as far as if it's coming right back into where I'm at. Doesn't appear he's giving him an easy shot, easy starter, so Efren can't leave the cue ball too open, so I'm wondering if he'll try to come 2 rails on top of the 8 and the 2 right here. Okay, he didn't want to take any chances. Pretty smart to leave him elevated too. Billy sees something he likes as far as shooting through the 2 ball maybe and following, trying to catch the bottom of the 3. It's going to give up the 8 though. And one thing about the 8, do you just roll it in, or do you elevate on the bank and draw up into the 9? I mean, that's the safer way. You figure to hit it well enough to not double it back at the guy's hole. So I think elevating here is okay if he wants. But if he wanted to level out and say, hey, I'm going to make this way more often, and I'm playing on a fairly generous table. Okay, he missed it. And the exact thing he didn't want to happen happened. It doubled back and forth. But that was kind of 2 different ways he shot it. He shot it level and tried to get into the 1 with the cue ball. Billy's going to get too straight on this one. He's not going to be happy with that. But he can certainly draw his ball. I'm not sure he has the angle to do that either as he's falling forward, so he may have to go on the bank shot on the 2. It's got to go a little bit. It's close. It is close. If he can get to the bottom of this, it's almost worth banking at it as well. Back up into the balls and draw 1 rail behind the 3. You may even bank it into the 3 and make it and draw 1 rail up the side rail a little bit. But if he doesn't get some on his side here, he's not going to like the outcome. Yeah, this isn't going to bode well for trying to win this game. And Efren knows that. Now he won't play this. I don't think he'll try to play this at the pocket so much. He'll try to play it around the middle and get the cue ball a little more safe. No reason to try and make this one and give him the 10. He's wanting to open balls, and you see that 2 ball that got below the rack. Those are the type of balls that are the most difficult to defend against. That's why he put a little more speed on that 4 ball, not only trying to get the cue ball a little more safe, not giving up a desperation 10 ball to Billy, just in case Billy doesn't find something he likes to play safe off of. And that's why the last shot by Billy, I would have tried to be more aggressive somehow or really bury the cue ball up underneath that 2 ball he played off of, because his first shot could really get him in a lot of trouble. He could 3 rail the 5 ball, giving up a bank on the 2 most likely. He's in a tough spot here, that's for sure. Just going to roll through the 7 or come off the 5 and try and get him up underneath the 2 maybe. Yeah, it's pretty nice there, considering he knows it's not like keeping Efren off of everything, but considering it was a nice hit from where he was, because any miscue there, he could double kiss the 5 he shot off of, or he could end up a little short or even a little long on the 2 and give up a bank. So Efren, I think, should still stick to what he was doing there. I mean, they're opened up pretty decent, but I wouldn't let this 2 ball entice me too much. See what your opponent can do from that upper rail. Okay, and that's the one that I would really be effective with, is that cue ball. See if he wants to keep making really good hits from the in rail here. And right now I'm not sure which one it is. He could roll through on the 7 again, but more difficult than the last one. He executed perfectly, but so he hit it great again. And that's where, if you continue to think your opponent's going to do this, that's one thing. But otherwise, I'd still make him show me he can do it. I mean, I still wouldn't look at this 2 ball. Still not great. I don't think you can make it so easily and play safe without giving up some type of shot on the 10 or a combination on something. So I'd still look at the 7 ball here. You got to know the 2's still going to be tough to defend against, and you can be pretty aggressive with the 7. It looks like. I mean, you can bank it back towards the 4 or 4-5 and get the cue ball, or you could edge it. He's going to edge it. The thing about edging is you usually don't get the cue ball as good as going through the ball. So now with the cue ball available, all bottom English, Billy may be able to figure out something to do a little bit here. Like some type of little bit of a trick shot maybe. He almost looked at the 9 off the 14, and it's maybe makeable, but he'd like to hit it with draw and draw right across into the 7, but I don't think it's makeable with draw. Now if he's going to shoot this 13, he better cover up some banks, or else he could give something up. Okay, he did pretty fortunate that the 9 didn't lay up a little more on the side rail, because he was definitely opening up the cue ball. Now, Efren doesn't really have to do much to have the best position here. I'll just shoot this and let it go where it goes and just draw the cue ball up on that first diamond, 1 rail up on that first diamond. Nothing too hard. I wouldn't want to open anything up. I think doing that, you might hit the top of the 13 with the 9, which is fine. You could, if the 10 wasn't out so much, you could draw all the way up the table and be real aggressive with the shot. But I think otherwise, ignore the 9 and just play the cue ball, like I said, 1 rail right up on that side rail, about the first diamond. So it'll be a little bit of straight draw. Yeah, he caught a little thicker and went into those lower balls, which would have been a little more scary for me, but, well, I mean, with all those there, it's been pretty hard to move them all apart enough to go up across corner, it appears, but he moved them enough to where he can maybe play off of something and get him behind that ball nearest his hole. Well, he's going to hit both balls here. I think he's going to go off the 14 and the 2 and just lay on the bottom rail. Yeah, I like that. It's a nice shot. Again, Efren doing a lot of what he needs to do, though, and that's keep balls off of Billy's side. You're in this position. I mean, they can't do anything. And it's real easy to make decisions, too, when your opponent doesn't have many on his side. That's maybe one of the bigger factors in it. You don't have to be a one-pocket genius to figure out something effective. Okay, so nothing too risky here. Was he, if he just edged the 14 and laid him on the rail over here and using the 10 to where he couldn't get at the 7 and all that, I think that would be fine and easy. He's going up the table. You got to watch out for that 10. Ooh, look at this, how sweet this turned out. Now, he did play the cue ball there. And I think Billy's got to be ready for a lot of these types of situations. I think if Efren has a game plan to take advantage of the way the balls sit rather than rearranging them. Okay, so he's cutting this ball. So if he's cutting it with top 2. So he's trying to get down here for some type of position. And he hit it great. Yeah, with the 9-12 the way they are, I wouldn't mind shooting one of these balls to clear, and maybe something goes over on my side. It might get near my hole. Nothing's coming backwards, and he can bury the cue ball behind the 15. Because he realizes he doesn't have anything near his pocket. So now he's moved 3 or 4 off of Efren's side onto his side. Very effective shot. Efren's got to, I think he's got to make the game a long one now. In a sense, now. Still, the balls are favoring pretty well. If he can get the cue ball over the side rail and make Billy work to get out of it, Billy may not hit everything perfect. Okay, I think he got it by the 15. If he didn't, he'll be upset about that. Got it by the 9, not giving up the 15, excuse me. Billy looks like he might be trying to play the 2 back across. Got to be careful with that. I'll try to hit the 14, I think. Yeah, like that. That's the one I would have been going for, leaving the 2. That way I know the 9 doesn't get opened up. No, he's got a 3 rather. Well, he decided to just take his 4-0 lead and make Efren earn it from here. Oh, he fouled. And he said, wow. So Efren owes one. And he's giving up a bank. He's not going to be in love with that one. Did pretty well with the cue ball, though. Left him elevated over the 6. Efren's going to cut at the 9, I think. Maybe not, if he can't do anything with it. But can he get the cue ball safe? No, there's not really a lot of great areas for that. Well, he squeaked that one in and got a little bit of a shape on the 13. He's got a cut on the 3 as well. Wow, what a shot that was. So 2 thin ones to start this run, and now another thin one on the 5 that, man, I don't know if he can beat the scratch here. He could go forward maybe, but then he's catching the 12 a certain way, and he's going to try and throw this in, I think, and try and kill the cue ball to the side rail maybe, and with the bridge. Like that. Look at that shot. Wow. Still a pretty nice shot even without making it. So Efren's going to have to spot one, and that'll get our score at 4-1 here in Game 2. If you're just joining us, I'm Jeremy Jones with Pool Action TV, coming to you live from Arena Billiards here in West Monroe, Louisiana. We got Billy Thorpe, young gun, top players in the U.S., playing the greatest of all time, Efren Reyes. We're playing a best 3 out of 5 sets, a race to 10 each set. So now Efren's going to look at the complexion of this game a little differently at 4-2 now, and he doesn't have to shoot at this 12. And I think if he does, he may go into the 7. Just one rail right into the 7. Yeah, I like that. I like the way he played that. Just take a chance of going up that side rail with the cue ball. That's a pretty full hit on the 7, and not only that, it kind of lets you let your stroke out on the bank, and it's a tight angle bank, so you don't figure it to come back across. Now at 4-4, but what I was getting at is he didn't have to shoot, but he liked the shot. He felt like it laid pretty well, and it let him shoot it in a manner that he had a lot of emphasis on making the ball. Okay, can he hold the bank on the 6? I think he can. He's close enough to it. When you're close to the object balls, a lot of times you can manipulate holding it up to where you're not going past. I think that part of the game is where some of the banking ability of Billy's really helps is one pocket. Very effective on those little crossover shots a lot of times. Now there it didn't work out to where it was spectacular and the speed was off a little bit, but normally it's really good. Efren's not going to be happy with that. Fell kind of funny, but he still wants the cue ball to get down table. Well, this is the Efren Reyes shot, the one rail bank on the 6 with high inside and bringing the cue ball carry it right behind the 2-4. This is one you learn when you're around some one pocket players. In fact, I'm surprised he's passing it up. Yeah, it's okay there. Efren need not take any chances here. Just kind of get the 14 out of play and drop on the end rail. I don't think Billy can do anything with the 2, 9, and the 4. Now, you could play off the 9 and come back down, but you got to be pretty careful where you're going and what the 9, 4, and 2 are going to do when you open them. Efren realizes there's a little more to this shot than he thinks. He wants to run the cue ball, but had to give up just some free bank with all the balls tied up here. I'd like to just, like I said, move the 14 out of play slowly. And okay, like here, I mean, Billy's going to bank the 7. You got to know that's going to, I think that's going to get banked at. I'm not 100%, but I think so. And didn't cost Efren any, but could have. So Efren, I think, should cross this over and go back up. He could kick it out as well. He needs to be real sure of what's going on when he kicks it out. He's going to elevate to the side rail. He's not even elevating. He's going to do it softly, I guess. That was dangerous. He could have went through that ball and scratched. Shoot that shot more of when it has to be kind of thing, where you need to go forward with the cue ball and take a chance of getting near the pocket, but it's not one that he had to do that right there, so. Billy's going to shoot a few more banks when the balls are in this position, but Efren certainly should be moving the balls to where he gets more banks, more good ones. Like when you're worried about going away, meaning the way the balls lay, or you're playing somebody that banks the balls really well. Well, sometimes don't go away with the cue ball. Just leave the cue ball up on one of them balls and just see what your opponent's going to do. You know you're not going to give them a bank at least. They might move one off your side or something, but they're not scoring. And this type of stuff right here will wear on you, especially when you're looking at a race to 10, best 3 out of 5 sets, as far as that cue ball coming down and being on the rail. So you got to give that up to Billy so far. That one came out for a possible, but it's pretty tight. Okay, Billy's going to go down table, so he needs to have a nice cue ball here. Pretty decent. Left him the 9, though, where he can go into the 6 and most likely not give up anything. I don't see him going by the 6 if he banks the 9, maybe. Don't want to do that, because then you're most likely just going to come to the end rail and bump the 6 towards Billy's hole and give up a shot if you don't make the 9. It's sitting close to in between to where if he goes forward with the cue ball, he could go by the 6. That's why he's just not automatically shooting it, because he knows that's very much a possibility. He knows if he shoots it with some speed, he can deflect into the 6 easily. Oh, he got by it. Made the 9 and got by the 6. What a shot. So back now with the lead at 5-4. Good speed. That's going to hold Billy from 2-rail on the 6. He's going to get a kiss there, yeah. And when he figured that was going to be all right. All right, so this is when you move these types of balls. The thing is, you just play the cue ball safe for the other ones. I mean, it's real hard to do here with the 6 and the 2 the way they're laying. But you definitely just don't leave him where he's going to get 2 banks on you. That's for sure. And put him on the rail so you see what's going to happen. You're going to shoot the 4 up table anyways. You're not going to leave it. So he left him bank on maybe all 3 of them. He's probably just going to shoot the 4 though. And he's looking at the 6. He's thinking he can hold his ball maybe, draw his ball 1 rail underneath the 4 with a great stroke. Oh, he got into the 11. Pretty nice shot, really. So we're probably going to have to cross the 6 out of his pocket. Let the cue ball come 1 rail right at the 11-7. Try and get him elevated. Should be able to cross the 6 over kind of thickly, in a thick way to where you can hold the cue ball up better. Looks like he's crossing it over, and he's got to be careful with this. Leave Billy some type of bank on the 2 or something to where Billy can get behind the balls. Yeah, he's banking the 2. Maybe the 4. Yeah, he's all right, the 4. Going behind the 2, and that's the thing. When you don't get the 6 in just the right position, the guy's going to bank at this ball anyways. Just let you cut the 6. And you just got to make the 4 and get the cue ball over on this right side rail. It'll be hard to cross the 2 from there, and the 6 won't bank, the 7-11 won't bank, none of that. So don't let a guy's banking ability make you really get out of line with another shot. Glad that didn't go in, the 6. I was a little surprised by the shot selection. And I understand you feel like make that one 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10, probably. Get on the board. Watch out for that cue ball. Now 5 apiece in game 2. Overcut it just a little bit. Oh, got a kiss there. So we've had a few lead changes here in game 2, and now Billy Thorpe out to another lead at 6-5. Needs 2 to go up 2-0 here in our first set. He may have given up a bank there. It's going to be close to a kiss. Yeah, I don't think he can really mess with it. Is Efren going to elevate on this 7 here? I think he'd do all right just, yeah, to pocket this 14. He's upset that that didn't go in. Suggesting the table might have rolled off just a little bit. Big difference, so Billy really couldn't shoot at this so easily with two balls on the spot. He's left. Now Efren should just let this 2-rail to where it 2 rails and follow the cue ball up on that 14 is what I would try to do. He's going to cross it over like that. Nothing wrong with that either. There's two ways of looking at it, and if you're pretty confident with the shot I was talking about, 11 usually will get way down and not in a bad spot at all and keep some heat on your opponent. Billy's going to cross this over and come back down. That's where Efren's got to be careful here. A lot of people would say, I'll just make this 14 and hold right there. Nothing wrong with that, but you got to make sure Billy can't bank the 11 from different places. And Billy, I think, can get another ball in a controlled way on his side of the table. Yeah, like that. And that's what he's looking to do. I think Efren's got to bank the 7 out of his pocket. It's a little thin, but it's one of the safer shots, believe it or not. And he could spin softly off the 7 over here, the right side rail. Nothing wrong with that. Billy may be able to get another ball on his side, though. Not sure what he's doing here. Not much, just, yeah, off the top of the 7. So Efren will go off the top of the 11 most likely. Come back across. He's pretty delicate here, though, he has. Looked like he was going into those, putting one on the spot. Now the balls came away nicely, but now Efren's just going to pocket the 11 up in the corner. A little dangerous there, though. If that 7 had gotten over, you never know. You may have a bank with shape on the ball coming on the spot. So a little touchy. This shot here, we hit that pretty well. That's a shot you should definitely practice. 2 off the spot from up in the corner. You would think it's about the same as the 1, but it's not. With the 1 ball on the spot, just the extra ball there makes a little bit different hit and a little bit different of what you're doing. Billy did real well there. And Efren's looking to see what he's giving up if he puts the ball on the spot. I don't think that's very advisable. He may give up a 7 or some type of combination on the 11, whether it be the 7-11 or the 6-6-11. Is he kicking behind them balls? Okay, pretty good. So Billy's going to put a lot of inside English on this, I think. Try and go the side, left side rail, drop down to about the middle of the right bottom side rail, and then to the end rail. Oh, he didn't get a lot on it. That's not going to be what he wants. Ooh, did it work out, though? It may have worked out. Efren may just have to bank the 7 down or something, come across with the cue ball. I'm not sure he can go forward. Yeah, don't like that option. Off the 14, he'll catch the 11. And if he shoots the other way, he's not really doing much with the bank because it'll throw the wrong way. So he's going to play off the 6 or the 7 somehow. He's going to do the 6, and I guess it's makeable and he can get across, but he's got to let it go. And he miss it here, it'll stall, and he'll give up a cut shot on the 14. I like taking the natural hit on the 7 myself and just laying the cue ball just laying the cue ball down over here on the end rail to the left side. Just kind of disregard where the 7's going. Yeah, he's not going to catch the 11 doing that. I think he's going to catch the 11. I think the cue ball will get through the 14 enough just to catch the edge of the 11, and that posed disaster for Efren. So either one here, if he's real comfortable with the 6. Otherwise, I just cut the 7 and let the cue ball come across. Yeah, just now I wouldn't have done it near so hard. I would have done it thinner, and who cares about the 7? Because you definitely don't want the 7 selling out some type of way. So he could have cut that much thinner, let the 7 just drift across the head string. And Billy looks like he's going to play the 6 on the 7 here. I'm not saying it's the wrong shot, but I wouldn't get fooled because you're so far away from it. You got to put some speed on it to draw your ball a little bit. If I can hit it lightly, it's good. But otherwise, I'm not in love with this shot. I think he's giving up a 6-ball bank, maybe. And the only reason being is, now he tried to play it softly off the top of the 7, which I think was the best way to play it if you're going to play it. But if you catch it underneath, it could hit the 7 and come back up towards the cue ball. Now, he hit it lightly, but unfortunately, I think he's left him perfect here, where he has a pretty good safety and a pretty good chance to make the bank. And I think he did. So Efren Reyes, 2 fairly short ones to get on the board here in game 2. He's going to make sure he needs one. He's probably thinking to himself, well, why didn't this guy give it to me if I only need one? Efren Reyes on the board. So the first part of the game opened up like it was going to be a quick one, but then turned out to be fairly lengthy. We saw a lot of moves with the balls up table.